Hi, I'm Erin. Today we take a look at the first harvest of winter crops in the high tunnel, and a change in the forecast brings bitter cold weather that threatens the survival of our hard work on our Wyoming life. December's farmers market date is here, and it's time for the first harvest of the winter crops in the high tunnel. We were lucky enough to have a pretty mild fall, and for our November market, we were still able to harvest from the outside garden. Now though, the crops in the high tunnel have had enough time to grow. Despite our shorter days and colder temps, the radishes and spinach are ready to go. So far, the commitment we've made to bring our local customers fresh produce 12 months out of the year is going well. In all actuality, it's going better than expected. The temps have been very mild, and we've had an abundance of sunshine. We average 209 days of sunshine here. It's actually a little bit higher than the national average. We can have bitter cold weather like today, and the sun will still shine. That is actually what is going to keep our crops alive with no heat in the high tunnel. Sunshine warms the tunnel, and the ground absorbs the heat, and it releases it overnight and during the cold, cloudy days. The soil never freezes, and hopefully our crops never freeze hard enough to kill them. We've been told that we can't do this. Crops can't grow in Wyoming in the winter with no heat, and the days are too short. Every month that we take a harvest, we're proving people wrong, and hopefully changing people's ideas of local agriculture. If we do something wrong and this doesn't work, well, then we'll do it differently until we get it right. In our eyes, the seeds are cheap compared to the knowledge that we are gaining and the boundaries that we are pushing. Now it's time to harvest. We have two 30-inch beds that we'll be working from today. The radishes are the first to be picked. Some are small, but for the most part, they are ready for market. It's not worth the time to sort through them, so everything gets picked. They all get thrown in a tub that will get taken back to the shop when we're all done. Not all the radishes will be picked in this row. Winter growing is all about staggering your harvest. The crops aren't going to grow much right now. We're at the shortest part of the year, and right now we have less than 9 hours of sunlight per day. If it were summertime, we could pull everything, replant, and within 30 days, we'd have another crop. We leave plenty of radishes for the January and February markets. Spinach is next to be harvested. It's just a little bit smaller than we would like. Another week of growing would have been ideal, but that's not possible. The smaller size just means that it takes a little bit longer to harvest, and it's all harvested by hand. A sharp knife is used to cut the leaves close to the ground, and the leaves are placed in the bin. The harvest of the spinach is handled the same way as the radishes. Take what we need for now, and leave the rest for another day. We will potentially get another cutting of spinach from this, but the regrowth is going to take quite some time. Back in the shop, the sink is cleaned and ready to wash our crops. The bubbler will be used to agitate the spinach, and it's placed in the sink first. The sink is filled with water, and then the spinach is dumped in. While it soaks, the radishes can be washed. Radishes are placed in some water and agitated around. Then the sorting out of the smaller radishes begins. Too small or anything that is undesirable for market gets tossed in a bin that will later get fed to the pigs. The keepers go into an empty sink where they get one more washing before being placed on a table to dry. Once radishes are done and the sinks are clean again, we get back to the spinach. The bubbler gets turned on. The spinach is actually pretty clean. There's not much dirt on it at all. Mostly due to the fact that it's in the high tunnel, there's no wind, and watering only happens about every 3 weeks. So the dirt isn't constantly being distributed onto the leaves. But the problem that we have is weeds. You'd think that since it's not summertime, we would have time to weed the beds, but that hasn't really been the case so far this fall. Some weeding has happened, but more work needs to be done. So in the meantime, we sort through the leaves, looking for anything that doesn't belong. Weeds get picked out, and the spinach goes into one more sink full of water for a final rinse. Then it's placed into the salad spinner for drying. It is also dumped on the table while we work on the rest of the spinach. Once we're ready to bag, the certified scale allows us to have the bags all the same size, and then it's off to the fridge for storage until market. Radishes actually don't get packaged until market day. We changed our packaging plans at the last minute, and on washing day we didn't have the necessary supplies. So at market, once we get everything else set up, the radishes get placed into baggies, and they are also weighed. Our first winter high tunnel harvest was a success. People at market were amazed that we had crops, and the fresh veggies were greatly appreciated. So far the weather has been on our side, and at the time of harvest it was a sunny, mild day here in Northeast Wyoming. A week later, and the weather is not on our side. Winter is descending upon us, and single-digit temperatures, they're coming. We knew that this would happen, and hopefully we're prepared, and the crops will survive. More row cover will be added, and the forecast is cold, but there is some hope for sunshine in the forecast. Even an hour or so of sunshine can warm the ground enough to get us through to one more day. I am loving the fact that we're gardening in the winter, although the high tunnel has been somewhat neglected. Weeds need to be pulled, and somehow the days, well, they seem to come and go, and I don't have enough time to get out there as much as needed. But when I do get the time, and I get to have my hands in the soil, and the sun is warm in the high tunnel, I'm happy. The gardens bring me joy, and that has always been missing during the winter time. What I don't love about winter gardening, though, is washing the vegetables. The well water is freaking cold, and by the time I was done, I swear I was frozen. Water and cold, they are not my happy place. I guess maybe I need better gloves before the next market. Like us on Facebook or Instagram for more updates on the high tunnel. Find out if we survive the next week of single-digit temperatures, or if our winter gardening days are over after only 1 month of harvest. Mike has new videos for you on Sunday and Tuesdays, and next Thursday will be a live stream with both of us. Thanks for joining us from the gardens of our Wyoming Life.